Yes, this is an easy setup, you know, an HD studio, you can really work. And Ben, wonderful to see you in person. I've listened to about 100 of your videos, and I love the economic approach, the rational approach you take into taking that EV market. Does it help? Is the EV market an emotional market, or is it an investment in a technology market? Where do you think it's going?
I think when it comes to vehicle purchases, there's a lot of emotion. I mean, humans are not rational. We don't really look at things objectively. So we have to. That's why Tesla has succeeded so well, is because they don't make rational, economic, boring, you know, but good choices. They make sexy and beautiful and fast and all the great things that you want to say about them. So I think. But
also the share price of Tesla is totally emotional. I mean, I had to let go of looking at fundamentals and change and business models. It is how many people are excited about it and want to buy it, and the value of the company is so hard, even though you are, with your rational approach, have been trying to conquer that a little bit.
Yeah, the stock market is not the economy, right? The reason I don't participate in the stock market is because it is generally, what happens to a share price is often divorced from reality entirely. Yes. A company lays off 20,000 people, the stock goes up, right? Boeing fires their CEO, has a $18.6 billion hit from the Max 737 Max Air. Yeah. Stock goes up 1%.
Yeah. And here we have the retail guys who basically, if everybody hates them, they appreciate them, and the other way around. Yeah. Now you have you first analyzed it a little bit, and then you got your own car. What role does Teslanomics play in your life? Is it a full-time job now, or what does it do?
Yeah, Teslanomics is my full-time job. It's been that for over a year now. And I'm starting to slowly grow a very small team that, you know, I never wanted to get big. I never want to become like this, like fully charged, a big media thing. I want it to just be me having the freedom to, you know, explore the ideas I want and share with people ways of bettering the future for themselves and for the planet.
Yeah. What is your background?
Data science. Yeah, or data analytics and engineering, to be more specific. But
what did you do before the EV market? How did you get to this journey?
I got hired as the VP of data at a company, and my boss had a Model S, and it blew my mind. And then we bought one as the company car, so when I would go visit in Utah, that was my car every time I went. And so while there, I really fell in love with it, and then bought one when I had a son because my old beat-up pickup truck wasn't going to work anymore. Yep. And so I bought one, it blew my mind, and then fast forward, I did a video explaining the cost savings. Yep. And then, you know, the rest is kind of history.
Your spreadsheet, yeah. And now you have this Model 3. What is your business model at the moment? How do you get your money? I mean, I basically am a Patreon, right. Yeah, but that won't pay the bill. No, but I mean, how's your business model built up?
Yeah, so in general, the way I do it is a common way that a lot of YouTubers live. Is you have the ads that play in the videos from YouTube. I have sponsors that I you know, hand select and promote in a video, and then I have Patreon is the other one. Other guys do merchandise and other things. I don't really do that. Sometimes I do affiliates, where if I find a really great product and I use it and I believe in it, I will put an affiliate link down so people can buy that thing or whatever.
But that's small potato, right?
It all adds up, you know.
So what is your biggest supporter now? What is the brand which supports you?
Well, it's actually all the new sponsors I'm working with, and I finally reached the...
Give me some names.
Well, Audible, Simply Safe, Squarespace, NordVPN, Brilliant.
So actually you have nothing to do with the EV market.
No, exactly. And I prefer that because I think there's an ethical way to do this, and then there's a more slimy way to do it. I always want to stay on the ethical side, which means if I'm talking about a product, like I have a very exciting, cool, clean tech product I'm reviewing, and it cost me $6,000 to buy it, and it's taken me weeks, and I'm going to, you know, spend $1,000 on editors and stuff like that. All of that is 100% my money that I put in. So when I do a review, it'll be my...
You don't do paid promotions and paid reviews or that kind of stuff?
Not of things that are in my area. I only do that of other totally separate things, like an Audible or something like that, which is like, yeah, I do use it. It's legit. It's great. But, you know, that way there's no conflict at all of... When I'm talking about I like this thing, it's because I really like it. It's not.
I'm exactly the same way. What about accepting trips to go to all kinds of interesting places by these companies, which then hope, of course, to get a review?
Yeah, I mean, when those come in, I'll think about that. But as of now, I haven't.
You haven't been shipped to China to basically take a look at a bunch of factories or something like that?
No, no, and I don't know how I would feel about that.
It is fantastic to go to China. I had to pay myself to go to China and to see all these factories.
I would love to go to China. I think there's a lot of, I want to go everywhere and see everything. I love travel. I love different cultures in different ways. Actually, one of my favorite places is Brussels, and I have a good friend that lives in Maastricht, so I actually love that part of the world as well. Yeah, I love travel and all that. But
breaking my heart, Amsterdam is not on your list.
I've not been. Okay. I've not been because every time
I'm inviting Ben here to go to Amsterdam. We'll find a nice event for him and basically get you there because I mean we'd love to have a nice, strong, analytical voice. Sure. Hey. One of the things, how fast do you think this market is changing? I mean, you have been involved in that now for a while, and I was more optimistic, and it's unbelievable how slow everything goes, from my perspective.
Yeah, and I think this past year it slowed down quite a bit because of what happened in China. So I think worldwide EV sales were actually down, if I'm not mistaken, but it's not going as fast as it needs to go. And that's why, you know, if you look at
the big guys, the Volkswagen, who is really trying hard, the Toyotas we won't talk about, but the whole traditional industry is changing very slowly.
Well, I think to move a giant ship like that, it takes a lot of that. You know, that's why we talked about it a little bit on stage. But I actually am really excited about Ford because they seem to have figured it out. And there's a couple guys that I met that were the ones that they saw an EV that they were making, and they said, guys, we got to stop. We got to go back to the drawing board. This is not going to cut it. And so when I see people like that really giving it their all, I get excited. Yeah, Volkswagen is one that I think could have the most, like one of the largest impacts. And while they've said a lot of these things, they haven't been able to deliver.
Well, they're rebuilding 18 factories, and they now have 50,000 PCs standing, waiting for the over-the-air update, because that is the second thing to do, not only electric, but over-the-air and having all that thing.
That's the problem that these companies don't understand. If it's just let's make a car and make it electric, they can do that. But in order for it to actually be a compelling product, it's also software, it's also self-driving. Like there's a whole ecosystem of things that they are not good at. They don't have a heritage of, right? This is why on stage I was talking about it again, like Mercedes. Yes, they make beautiful cars. Of course they do. They've been making cars for hundreds of years, or 100 and something years. And
we need those guys to change.
Yes, and they're trying. But what they're finding is it's far more difficult than they ever anticipated. And I think the challenge for them is that Tesla is eating their lunch. So they have to figure it out. So thank God that Tesla is forcing these guys to do it. Now, a Toyota and a Honda can sit back because somebody buying their cars is looking at $15,000, $20,000 price point, and it'll be a long time if ever we see like a Tesla make a car that's cheap. That's that cheap.
Hey, how does your day look normally? Now that you have your own man, you're your own person, you basically have to deliver a number of videos. I don't know how many you do, but how does your day look?
Get up, take care of the kids, take them to school.
Wonderful to have that freedom, huh?
Yeah. Head down to the office. Depending on the day, I'm scripting a video, I'm researching a topic, or I'm filming, or editing and all that. So I still do maybe 90% of all the editing and everything for my channel, but I'm starting to farm some of that out so I can make more content. That's where the sponsors come in. It's nice to have money to be able to afford those things. But yeah, and then, dinner time, head back home and then, cook dinner for the family and enjoy a nice night. So I work a kind of a traditional 9 to 5. I try to have a very good routine to keep the consistency going.
How many videos do you do?
I do 1 a week minimum. Sometimes I do 2. It's really hard because my videos are pretty in-depth. There's a lot of research that goes into them, and then graphics can take 2 days of just work. So, yeah, I try to at least 1 a week just to keep the algorithm happy. But I'm trying now that I'm hiring more people and growing it, I'm going to try to start producing maybe 2 a week, at least like 6 a month.
What about the audience, the audience participation? How is that for you?
The engagement is great. Yeah, I really love the feedback and all that kind of stuff that comes along with it. I'm kind of picky because I've grown an audience large enough now where
you cannot do everybody anymore.
Well, when I go look at comments and things, I can filter to people that are subscribed versus not. And so I look at it and go, even if you have a valid point, if you can't click subscribe, then you're going to be lower on the list of people that I would respond to.
What about the people who have Patreon support?
Patreon 100% is the first, and then YouTube channel memberships, because some people don't want to do Patreon, so they do channel memberships. Those are the first two. Chances are, if you're into that category and you comment or whatever, I'm going to respond. I will absolutely see it. Sometimes it maybe doesn't warrant a response, whatever. Yeah. Then I go to subscribers, and then usually I'm done. Like, so, you know, I really try to stay engaged, because that's what this is all about, is helping people and helping the community.
And it's inspiring. Okay, how old are your kids?
4.5 and 3 months.
Are you allowed to leave the country? To basically do interesting things? Because I know at that phase, I could not leave the country.
Not without them. I am going to the UK for the Fully Charged event in May, but after that, yeah, after that, that's about as, but I'm bringing the family, so.
I'll try to get him to Amsterdam. Ben, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.